So, moreover, I saw that on your Twitter you complained about internet connection here.
It's been pretty frustrating. It's frustrating for all the startup competition because they can't get on the internet to demonstrate their products. So.
Yeah, I take advantage to speak about Twitter. What do you think about this micro-blogging?
Well, it's really started exploding in growth because now it's switching to mainstream, and 2 years ago it was only the geeks in this room who were on Twitter. Now it's on CNN every evening, and that's dragging in a lot of new people who are trying to understand it or build networks of their friends and stuff like that. I think it really has a lot of impact on how news is going to be disseminated, because in the old world I used to watch 3 channels when I grew up, right? And I had 1 local newspaper or 2 local newspapers. And that was it. That's how you found the news. Now you don't watch TV and you don't read the newspaper. You get the news sent to you from your friends with a link, right? Which links you to the newspaper and links you to the video on YouTube or whatnot. And I think that has a lot of implications for how news brands are going to be built in the future.
Indeed, it was very important in Mumbai, Twitter, because a lot of Twitters wrote about what it was happening.
Yeah, and Chinese earthquake too. Yeah.
Exactly. Is this a new kind of journalism, or is it another stuff?
To me, it's like talk radio, but unlike, because I've always listened to talk radio in San Francisco, like KGO Radio, which is a huge radio station, 50,000 watt, transmitter, but it's only for San Francisco, or the Bay Area. Now with this kind of media, it's the worldwide media, right? So you're on Twitter and you're talking to people in China and Alaska and Spain and Italy and Germany and Africa and all over the world, right? All live on your screen that you can talk to at one time. That's what's changed. So yeah, we had talk shows before, but now we have the ability to communicate with thousands of people all around the world instantly, and that's really exciting to me.
Do you think that bloggers and journalists now are the same?
No. Yes, they are in some way, because like journalists are doing blogs, and bloggers are now, like I'm writing a column for a magazine, right? So I've become a journalist in some way. But when I'm blogging, I'm not doing it with a committee. When I'm writing for the magazine, I have an editor, he has a boss, there's a chain of command that if I write something untrue, that somebody's going to get yelled at and probably fired, right? On a blog, there's a lot less of that, and there's a much more instant nature to it, which means that the reader has to be more skeptical and has to participate. That's what's different, right? A blog, my readers add to the story. On my magazine article, there's no readers there. Not, you could write a letter to the editor, but it's going to show up in 3 months, not instantly right after I write what I write,
If please you can tell about yourself, your personal process between becoming a journalist after being a blogger.
Yeah, well, I was a journalism student, so I had a little bit of an advantage there, and I've studied media for a long time. I was at a computer magazine, so I was working for a programming magazine in the 90s, and then I started planning conferences, and that's actually what got me into blogging, because 2 of my speakers said, you should try writing a blog about all the stuff you're doing and behind the scenes and stuff like that. And that got me to Microsoft, where I was writing about Microsoft from inside Microsoft, which was interesting. But now I'm working at Fast Company Magazine and Fast Company TV, going around the world with a video camera and interviewing interesting business and technology people.
Of course, living from USA,
yeah.
How do you think that Obama will change the information technology in USA and of course after in all the world?
Well, he already has. He's not even president yet, and he's putting out a weekly message on YouTube, right? That's a huge shift, because previous presidents have done weekly addresses on radio and TV, but those haven't been searchable, and they haven't been linkable, and they haven't been, embeddable, so I can take, what Obama says, put it right on my blog and say, oh, this guy's an asshole, or this guy has good ideas, or he has bad ideas, or whatever I'm going to say about him. But I can embed his talk right into my blog post, right? That's a huge change from listening to the radio, where you would listen but not participate and not tell your opinion and not interact with other people who are also giving their opinion. I think that's very exciting. He understands this new world at a level that no other president has, which is going to be fascinating to watch. It's going to be fascinating to see how he uses the new media to change how he interacts with the people. I've met with some congressmen, and they've been in the White House with a BlackBerry and doing Twitter, right? And one was actually trying to do Quick. I was doing Quick on the White House lawn, and they said, no live video, because they have all these rules. It'll be interesting to see how he pushes and how he gets, interacts with people from inside the White House and shows you his life, because that will be interesting, I think, to a lot of people.
A president do 2.0.
Yep.
About social networks, do you use social networks?
Oh yeah, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Jaiku, FriendFeed, Upcoming.org, which a lot of people don't understand, like Flickr and Upcoming.org are also social networks around photography and events. And I'm on Doppler, so you can see me where I travel to. And I'm on TripIt, so you can see more about where I'm traveling, what I'm doing when I'm traveling. So I'm on quite a few. I'm probably on like 20 or 30 social networks. Yeah.
Do you think that Facebook is a place of enjoyment, or is a place to work?
Well, it's interesting. My wife right now is meeting with her best friend from elementary school. They haven't seen each other for 22 years, and they found each other on Facebook. So that gives you an idea of the power of Facebook to connect people in a way that we haven't had. I like Facebook. I wish they were a little bit different for my needs, but I can see why they're so popular with hundreds of millions of people around the world.
Facebook launched now Facebook Connect, and after a few time, MySpace launched MySpace ID.
Yeah, and Google has Connect as well. So
exactly. What do you think? It's they are running under Facebook. Everyone is Facebook that is the driver.
So far, it's interesting. I watch what a lot of businesses do, and nobody's using these tools yet, right? But I think over the next year, it'll be very interesting to see which ones are winning. Which ones people put in, and why do people put social networks on their company site or on their blog, and what do they do with that? Does it add very much value to the blog or the website, or is it just sort of an identity thing? I think that'll be a big story of 2009.
Last question. Here in Paris, what do you think about Le Web?
I've been coming to Le Web for a few years. It's always a good conference, and I like that he brings in interesting people from the United States, and then he has a great European audience. So we get to hear each other and see each other and see what's happening over here that's different than is happening in San Francisco. Hi, Novecento. Hi, Novecento.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.